created when this was Oregon territory, and the first patient there was the sole survivor of an Indian raid. But during the Depression, a lot of things changed out there, and that's when they started doing the lobotomies and the hydrotherapy and a lot of the more horrific treatments. And people were put there, of course, for silly reasons, like women for independent thought, or, you know, having a sex drive, or sometimes reading too many books is some of the reasons people have been committed to insane asylums. But anyway, to make a long story short, it's a really, really old flippin' building, and they closed it down many, many years ago when they built the new one, and they just kind of left the building there. And I grew up playing there, and the sheer amount of supernatural experiences, it's like a supernatural petting zoo. I take groups of people up there because I know that no matter who I take with me, they're going to have some sort of experience. And the first thing when you walk into the fields is you notice the hot and cold spots, like walking into ice water almost. And it's just so random that you can step in and step out and almost like kind of do the hokey pokey with a ghost, pretty much. And that's always amusing. The other things that I've experienced out there are screams that you hear that you don't really know where they're coming from, shadow people moving through the woods, to a lady that was holding a lantern one day. That was really creepy. Definitely one of the only times that I ran back to the car with a friend, which is like a mile run, and I don't run. So we came around the corner at night and looked up a road, and there was a lady in a long dress holding a lantern beckoning us down the road, and I ran like a scared little bitch. I'm not afraid to tell you guys. I mean, looking back, there was nothing, like, scary about her, but it was the most frightening thing I've ever seen. So it took me a while to go back after that, but a lot of the other things that I've seen, the building has been demolished all the way to the ground, but when it was still standing, you could go up there, and it was like somebody had left all the lights on, even though there was no electricity out there. It was like as bright as day, and all your clothes, everything would glow like it was in a black light, and that was very impressive. So there's my haunting story. I have, of course, many, many more, but the lady with the lantern that's the one and only time I've actually seen somebody where it looks like a projection you can almost see through. It's so weird. And I'm telling you, no matter, it could be like Mickey Mouse with cotton candy. You see something like that, and you are scared out of your effing mind, man. It is just not okay.
Yeah.
So,
gosh.
That is, that's my Western state story. But yeah, it was really, really crazy.
That is just like, wow, where was I? I was not invited to this one.
I try to do groups. I try to get at least 5 people, and it's free. This is not a charging event. We just meet at Denny's, and it's at night. So you have to understand that we are somewhat breaking the law in some cases. So I do expect everyone to be respectful, quiet, and scatter when the cops come, kind of a thing.
Wait, you tell me I'm not
we
quiet?
Go out. And we go out there and we check it out. And so when I basically get enough people interested at one time is when I'll take a group out there, kind of like a tour guide, because I know where the cemetery is and where the barns are and where the prison was and where the old tunnels are. And it really is a lot of fun.
Dude, I now have Saturday nights and Sundays off, so we're going to go to one.
Oh, I can totally do this. I mean, Shels, you and me can do this.
Oh, of course. We got to go Scooby-Dooing, so I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah. We can pull up in the mock mystery van.
Oh, my God, yes.
This would be great. There's only, I insist upon this one thing, because I don't drive because of the epilepsy. I don't drive at all. So you have to give me your car keys, because I'm also the slowest runner. If something happens out there, I will meet you at the car, but you are not leaving my house.
I would never, ever leave you. Yes, Sean, we are wacky. We do call our ghostly hunting thing Scooby-Dooing. We gotta go Scooby-Dooing.
we can do this. We can totally do this.
We can. We should like fly Sean out from out there in Kansas City. He can go with us. He can go Scooby-Dooing. Oh yeah, Mrs. Spider wants to go too. So hey, Spider, you're gonna be left with the little one for a bit too.
Hey, it'll be ladies' night. It'll be ladies' night.
Yes. Well, not really, because Sean wants to go too.
Sean could be a lady, right, Sean?
True. All right. Any other stories?
Oh, I have so many. It's so hard to pull from one. I mean, I grew up in Steilacoom, and Steilacoom is the oldest town in Washington. It would have been as big as Seattle, but they decided to go ahead and put the big train stop in Seattle with the Mason girls, which was a large whorehouse at the time, and Seattle's main attraction. Steilacoom was a more Presbyterian and kind of tight-lipped. So having with the elementary school being haunted and the town hall being haunted and Main Street having the sound of carriages roll down the street, but there's nothing there.
Crazy. Isn't one of our high schools downtown Tacoma, isn't that one haunted to Stadium High School? Lori? I think I lost you.
Oh my God.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Stadium High School is haunted, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it is. You see, Stadium High School didn't start out as a high school. It started out as a very high-class hotel. And it was pretty much doomed from the beginning. They sank a lot of money into it, and it never did pay off. There were, I think, several suicides and a fire and a flood before they just gave it up, and the city bought it and turned it into a school. So there's quite a lot of haunting and residual activity through there. And Tacoma in itself, it's all... Tacoma, the tribes here, right where Fireman's Park is, they used to, what they would do to their criminals or their enemies is they would tie them to the bluffs and let the seagulls pretty much pick their guts out. So Tacoma in general is kind of sour ground and has a lot of haunting. So it's almost like pick a building and I can tell you about it.
Wow. Well, I can't even give you a building because the only thing I remember is just the Tacoma Stadium because I live close to it. Okay, well, I just pulled up our Tacoma downtown tour. Have you been on that one yet?
You know, I haven't because I am so against spending money.
Yeah, me too.
I can't stand it. But the other place that's really haunted, that's really cool, and I don't know if you've been there or not, it's the Pythian's Temple in downtown Tacoma. It's a really weird hidden building. You wouldn't even know it's there, but once you get inside between like Broadway and Market, it's this old temple for the Knights of the Pythians, which was a group like the Freemasons, only smaller. And they had that temple there since, I think, the late 18 or mid-1800s. And that building was unreal with activity. There were stairs going up, and you would really feel like somebody was pulling at your shirt or pulling at your clothes, almost in a playful way, but with how steep the stairs were, it was really kind of scary. And I just got this impression of this chick in white. in this white dress, and she was happy, and she was dancing, and she was singing, and then she was dead with a broken neck. And it was like that fast. And I asked Father Michael about it, because he was the one that was hosting us there. And there was a gal that had died in the 20s that had fallen down the stairs.
Weird. Wicked. Just like, I don't think
that one still gets me.
Yeah. Okay, we're all sharing ghostly stories inside the chat room. That is so awesome.
You wanted a Halloween episode? You got a Halloween episode.
This is awesome. This is like one of the best shows so far. Well, besides Star Wars. But this is awesome. Second best. It's like awesome. It's the best news I heard all day.
It's the best news I've heard all day.
All right. So, any other stories?
Gosh, here's one from my childhood. I'm going to dig really deep and let me sit. Well, not really deep. It seems really deep. I've had a long life, but let me set the scene a little bit. My parents had bought this house that, for some reason, in the 70s, the designer of the house decided to decorate the walls with floor-to-ceiling mirrors, all on one side of the house. And they were on one side and then the other side, so it was really, really freaky. And we had a pool of water outside the house, so the energy was weird. You would come sit down to dinner and the lights would turn on and off in the pantry like a 2-year-old was playing with the light switch. And my family, being the good Roman Catholic family that we were, we just ignored it. It just didn't exist. But visitors thought it was pretty odd. The other thing that got me, I was about 16 or 17, and a friend of mine and I had swung by the house to, I think, probably raid my parents' liquor cabinet and go drinking. And we came in the house to look at the Christmas tree, and we heard a voice from upstairs. I couldn't hear what it said, but it was so strange, like talking through a radio almost. It raised like hairs. Oh my God, it was the weirdest thing I've ever heard. I then, of course, because it's me and my dad was a soldier, we grabbed a gun and cleared the house just to make sure that we didn't have any intruders and that no electronics had been left on upstairs. Once we had done that and the house was secure, we then left. And it took me a couple days before I would actually go back in my house again. It was the weirdest, and it's not like it was in the middle of the day, it wasn't at night. It just, the sound of the voice was so wrong and so off that it's like every fiber in my being just went on high alert, and it was just, I don't know, that is, to me, is one of the most frightening things.
Well, yeah, with all those mirrors, I would be scared to death too. Phew. Yeah.
And I couldn't hear what it said. I couldn't understand the words, and I don't have any good explanation other than I think I heard a voice from another dimension in my hallway. And I wonder why I'm in this seat now.
Yeah, you wonder.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. Alrighty. So, alright. Any other stories? Because I'm like, ooh, I need popcorn. I need popcorn. I need my soda. I'm just saying. Don't want to give up the conversation.
Shels will keep you all night. She'll still set up a faux fire in the studio and get a bunch of marshmallows. And,
well, yeah, Lorianna actually should know that part. Knowing her for umpteen years.
It's been a minute. It's been since 2007, to be precise.
Yeah, it has been. We've been friends for a very long time. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I gotta say, like, okay, so I see in the message feed about hellhounds.